Hey everybody, the new moon in Gemini is happening on Sunday, June 18th at 12:37 a.m. Eastern Time. How can you make the most of these energies? We're going to dive in with the tarot and find out, so keep watching. So this reading is for all signs. It is timestamped. The timestamps are in the description of the video and in the first pinned comment. Watch for your rising sign first and then your sun sign. And if you want even more monthly readings from me, check out my YouTube channel membership. Click the join button below and you can watch a video describing what the membership is all about. I'd love to see you on the other side there in the membership. So, of course, new moons are times to set our intentions to begin new projects, new initiatives in whatever sign the new moon is occupying in our charts. So the energy at this new moon is a little mixed, okay? We have Mercury in its home sign, Gemini, which is great. But Mercury is squaring Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So squares bring off intense energy. Squares are helpful though, because sometimes they are a motivating force to give us a kick in the you-know-where to get something finally off the ground. So with Saturn going retrograde the day before this new moon, there may be in fact a plan set in motion that has been rethought, or you're going to be rethinking plans that you already set in motion maybe back in December when we had the full moon in Gemini. So there can be energy of a rethink, reevaluation, especially in terms of responsibilities and commitments with whatever you're trying to get going in this Gemini area of your chart. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something that may be going on for you. We also have Mercury, as I said, in Gemini, sextiling, which is a favorable alignment to Venus in Leo. So our minds are set on Venusian things like love and money matters. We want quality, we want good things, we want enjoyment, we want pleasure. Our hearts are behind manifesting things of value to us. The issue is the Saturn, as I just said, but also Neptune in Pisces, which is in an exact square, again, another square energy to this new moon. So Neptune is the classic fog scenario where, things are unclear. We don't know if we're coming or we're going. So, I'm just getting the feeling that, yes, set intentions for new things to manifest. But because we have so much mutable stuff going on here with this new moon, the new moon's immutable. We have, as I said, Neptune and Saturn in mutable Pisces. Just know your plans may change. How flexible can you be with these new moon intentions that you are setting? Because also we have Venus and Mercury both going retrograde at the end of July and then at the end of August, respectively. So this is the summer of the big rethink, which is why I'm telling you also with this new moon energy to be flexible and to see how the energy plays out, particularly in this Gemini area of your chart. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't use the energy and we don't do anything and then it's all doom and gloom. No, of course not. But just know with the other planetary influences that are afoot, flexibility really is key. And also anything you can do to set your mind, Mercury and Gemini, to finding the clarity that you need, particularly around your willingness or your unwillingness, depending, to commit to new courses of action in this Gemini area of your chart. All right, let's get into your tarot reading. All right, Aries. So we have the new moon happening in your third house of communications, writing, speaking, teaching, networking, sales. We have Neptune in your 12th house of the subconscious, things behind the scenes, and also Saturn there as well. So I would suggest that you absolutely really check in with yourself, especially limiting beliefs, baggage you may be carrying around, subconscious things that may be tripping you up in regards to anything that is currently unsaid in your life. If you want to start something new in these writing, speaking, teaching, networking, sales areas, look at your subconscious motivations first. Get clarity on why you're doing what you're doing and also why you're saying what you're saying. Okay, third house. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have the Judgment. And we have the Page of Swords, initiating new communications. And we have the Three of Pentacles, your third house, coming up over here also. Okay, so Venus and Mars are in your fifth house of creativity, investment of your heart space energy, right? So this is very clear to me with this Judgment card here. Maybe around the 20th, so a couple days after this new moon, you may be in a position right before the sun leaves Gemini to make some sort of decision about what direction you're going to initialize and initiate with some sort of creative project. Okay, you can see in this deck, she's sitting in front of an easel. Again, it is that subconscious stuff that needs to be looked at before you make this decision. So I feel like this is a lot about not having knee-jerk reactions and choosing the same old, same old. The Judgment card is also about new life. So, I feel like whatever you are going to decide about, whether it's a conversation you're going to have, a new book you're going to write, I mean, you may start communicating in a brand new way. You may start a new marketing project for your business. I mean, whatever. This cannot be the same old, same old. And I feel like there's something here again, like the Judgment card going through the motions. This is like the Walking Dead, right? So it's like you're not even conscious of what you were doing before. It's like same old, the rote, the habit, the routine of whatever you've been doing. It is time to decide to shake it up, which is why we have the Page here, which is about new beginnings, fresh starts in whatever this third house matter is for you. Okay, so this is the intention to set, in my opinion, that you are going to do things differently. You're going to use your communication skills in a totally different way. And you're going to also choose different projects, different ways of communicating, different ways of marketing, different ways of teaching. Again, apply the energies to your life. Everything's a metaphor. Okay, that you are not going to sleepwalk through creative commitments that you're choosing or important conversations that you need to have with people. But you're going to be very conscious of your motivations and why you're saying what you're saying and why you're committing to what you're committing to. All right, Taurus. So the new moon is happening in your second house of money and self-esteem, self-worth, your values. Meanwhile, we have Neptune and Saturn doing its thing in your 11th house of personal gains, hopes and wishes and dreams and friendships. And we have Venus and Mars in your 4th house of home. Okay, so there could be some things about new initiatives financially that you want to take regarding home matters in particular. But the Neptune and maybe bringing some fog, like you can't, get a financial plan going for yourself. And Saturn maybe going retrograde, maybe saying, there's some limits on what you can do financially right now, despite your best intentions, the things, you want to begin. There could be a rethink. It may not even be limitations. It could just be a rethink of the resources that are available to you. All right, so let's see what we have. Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups and we have the 6 of Swords. Isn't that interesting? And we have the 4 of Swords. Okay, so interesting that we have the 2 Gemini energies showing up here. Okay, so y'all could be on the fence. Sorry, cat hair. Y'all could be sitting on the fence. Like there's something you may not want to be dealing with, 4 of Swords. And this may have been going on for a while. It could have been too that you haven't been dealing with it because you just haven't felt well. You know, you could be just going through something. It could be mentally just haven't been on point. It could also be something else that's kind of kept you low energy. There is something that likely you don't want to deal with because it is a tender issue, the Six of Cups. It could be with a child. It's possible. It could be with another type of family member. It could be with a relationship that, you know, you're contemplating leaving, with the Six of Swords showing up here. It could be also something regarding a family member moving on as well. Like this, I'm getting like empty nest also with this energy. But this is the setting of the intention that troubles will pass away. It is just a matter of you taking charge of your boat and steering it in a new direction. There is something about timing here. With the double sixes, it could be 6 weeks from now or 6 months from now when this energy may manifest based on what intention you are setting now. Okay? There could be some sort of unfortunate reality you've been trying to ignore, possibly about a friendship with the Six of Cups here, since the energy is happening, Saturn and Neptune, in your 11th house of friendships. So there could be something like that also, where they're not making you feel very good, right? The relationship is a drain on your energy, maybe emotional vampire, something going on. We have this new moon in your 2nd house of values. So you're like, you know, I'm just not feeling this. This relationship is actually making me feel like this over here. I do need to move on. You know, sometimes moving on really is a process. It's not always, you know, Uranian or in nature or the Tower card in nature. Sometimes, yeah, the lightning bolt comes and like, woof, like you're done with it. Sometimes it's a longer, more drawn out process where it does feel like, you know, you got to prepare for the boat ride and you finally get on the boat and then there's choppy waters and then finally you're smooth sailing. Like it's a process. So I feel like that may be going on for you as well, to set your intention with the knowledge that, yes, you know, you are filtering through some fog and some realizations perhaps about somebody close to you. Could be, again, friend, family member, or with a home situation. And it's just going to take a little time. This does not mean you continue to beat yourself up over it. Okay, focus on the future, the forward motion that you are going to make, and set your intention here, Taurus, for your freedom. So Geminis, this is your personal new moon. Very exciting. I would just like to, before I get into your reading, invite you to join me for your birthday live celebration here on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, June 17th. I hope to see you there. All right, now, birthdays around the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. All right, y'all are having this new moon energy in your solar return chart for your year ahead. So this is about planting new seeds for brand new beginnings. I mean, this new moon, of course, for any Gemini applies to that, but especially because if you have your birthday around this time, this is affecting your whole year scenario. Okay, so what I would say with this also, because we have this Neptune squaring the sun and the moon, the new moon energy, you've really got to get clear on what you want, especially career-wise, because that energy is happening in your 10th house of career. Okay, Saturn is going retrograde in your 10th house of career on the 17th. Excuse me. It may bring back, Saturn may bring back an opportunity from your past. But again, it doesn't mean you have to take it, but you need to think very clearly about what you want in this area of your chart. You may want to really look at balances between responsibilities and having a little more freedom. Promotions are all well and good. Of course they are. But is it worth it for your lifestyle? Is it worth it to have all your time eaten up by something like that? I'm not saying it is or it isn't. It's up to you to decide. But there's those types of considerations that, you may be kind of weighing and balancing, Gemini. So very interesting. Saturn going retrograde also in your 10th house could bring some additional responsibilities or something that wasn't done the first time and comes back around again in some way. There could be return to an old workplace, an old job possible for some of you. Again, it just depends on your personal situation. But that's a theme. Those energies are a theme for your year ahead, especially if you have your birthday around this time. Okay, but I mean, it does apply to everybody at the new moon. All right, so let's see what we need to know. So new moons in your own sign, the first house of the self, your personal goals, your physical body. You've got to watch energy drains. Absolutely. With Neptune, especially those of you born around 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, because the sun, your sun is being squared by Neptune. So this can be energy drains. You know, you just got to watch it with that. Like if you're tired, you got to rest. And I know how you are. You don't want to. I know. All right. So it may be time, since this new moon is in your first house of the physical body, set up some sort of new intentions to listen to your body, especially when it comes to the balance of your sleep, your work, you know, resting, playtime, etc. All right, so we have the Ten of Cups, beautiful. And we have the King of Pentacles. And we have the Hierophant. Okay. So again, commitments, the Taurus energy, but it's the Hierophant. So it is about commitments. And we have the happy home life. And again, whether it's you and your cat or you and a significant other or whatever. And then we have the moneymaker in the middle, the King of Pentacles. So once again, this is about setting the intention of having that balance in your life, with your personal life and your professional life, and balancing your commitments, I think, with the Hierophant here. Now, this is interesting that the Taurus energy is kind of showing up doubly here, because Uranus and Jupiter are both in that 12th house of yours, the subconscious. So, and things hidden behind the scenes. And sometimes the 12th house can also be the house of self-undoing. So you don't want to self-undo yourself. Okay, you don't want to do that, Gemini. You got to have the balance, right? So, and I do think for some of you, you know, whether you have the relationship and don't have the job, or you have the job, you don't have the relationship, whatever, I think that's the other important thing that this is saying too, is that, you know, one of these things is going to be manifesting for you by your full moon, which is happening in 6 months. So it's crucial for you to make that intention and set that intention to have that better balance for yourself. And I would say too, with the King of Pentacles showing up here, there may be this next leveling up in your career life as well. And even, like I said, like, you know, even if you don't want somebody else in your life, you still need personal time that makes you happy. You do the things that you love. It can't be all work and no play. You know this, Gemini. So very interesting energies here. I think there's going to be, you know, by the time we get to your full moon in December, there's going to be a new commitment in your life, whichever one is currently not there. There's going to be a new commitment. All right, Cancer. So you have a new moon happening in your 12th house of things hidden behind the scenes. 12th house can also be the house of self-undoing. Okay, but with a new moon, it's about setting new intentions. So I think that you're going to be setting some new intentions based on what you know you are capable of. And you are capable of many great things. You have Neptune in your 9th house, so the big picture perspective of your life, and also Saturn in that 9th house going retrograde. So I think that you are, you know, rethinking the direction that your life is heading. And again, like what you're capable of. And you want to, and perhaps already have done so, in terms of shifting any sort of mindsets, habits, behaviors that hold you back from living an expansive life. That's your 9th house also. Okay? So, and some of you, you're setting the intention to really get out in the world more because you are or have, recently healed some baggage and some stuff that's been, problematic. Okay, so let's see what we have for you, Cancer. We have the 3 of Pentacles, and we have the 4 of Pentacles, and we have the King of Swords, the Gemini energy. Okay. So this is your 4th house, Libra. This is your 8th house, Aquarius, and it is your 12th house, also the subconscious. So you are being very decisive about new activities, especially this 3 of Pentacles, that you want to really ground yourself into and invest your time and energy into with this 4 of Pentacles. What you want to hold on to in your life, because you only have so many hours in the day. The 3 of Pentacles is, to me, an architecture, a structure, a building energy. So you're ready to build. You're being very decisive about building a plan for, like I said, the bigger picture perspective of your life that you want to ground into reality. That you want to have manifest, the 4 of Pentacles. It could have something to do with work, sure, because we have Pentacles showing up here. But it also could be something else, apply the energies to your life. But with the King of Swords here, this is about really making an executive decision, so to speak. And you notice here, there's this lady kind of looking over her shoulder in this deck. And, yes, it might be helpful to get an outside opinion or advice. But because this new moon is in your 12th house, like I said, of the subconscious, you are the decision maker. Whatever somebody else is telling you, yeah, they may be an expert or in their field, they have authority, blah, 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 whatever, but you are your own authority. And I think that's really important to remember with this King of Swords showing up. Don't give your power away and listen to somebody else. Take what resonates from somebody else giving advice and leave the rest. But you, at the end of the day, are the one that's going to make the decision to carry through and carry forth with whatever this is. So this is exciting. I mean, the 3 came out and then the 4. So you're going to be building something very substantial in your life. And so you want this decision to have as much clarity as possible. So with the Neptune squaring, as we discussed in the prologue to this video, the Neptune in Pisces in that 9th house for you, you really need to try to feel into and see into, with your special sight, cut through the fog about that direction. And I think the way to do that for you is really just to, again, be your own authority. Listen to yourself. Feel into your gut. Feel into your knowing about the direction you want to go in. And yeah, you may be rethinking that, especially with Saturn retrograde in that 9th house also. Make sure you're the decision maker. I think this is really the key here. Saturn going retrograde may bring back an old lesson about how you gave your power away, your decision-making power away to somebody else. And that did not really maybe go as planned. It did not have the results maybe that you wanted. So I think something like that may be cropping up as well. Trust your own authority. All right, Leo. So new moon in your 11th house of hopes and wishes and dreams, friendships, personal gains, networks, friendships, and of course, Venus and Mars in your own sign. And we have in your 8th house of transformation, Neptune and Saturn. Okay, so Saturn going retrograde, of course. So there may be fog around other people's resources and how they may be involved in some sort of new direction that you want to go in. Okay, 8th house, other people's resources. 11th house, personal gains. I think with this too is setting an intention to get clarity around who really is on your side, who really has your back, based on the fact that you have been personally transforming your life and upending things and, you know, just going through massive, especially with Saturn in that 8th house, massive transformation of commitments, right? And responsibilities, and getting rid of those that don't serve you and people who don't have your best interests. So, you know, setting the intention to really see with clarity who's on Team Leo and who is not might be something to look at here with this Gemini. But to really not make excuses, the Neptune in that 8th house, not make excuses for people's behavior, especially if those people have addictions. Neptune. It can also be too that you need to look, if this applies, you may need to also set an intention if you want to have greater personal gains in your life, 11th house, to set the intention to get your own addictive tendencies, whatever they may be, if you have them, under control. Okay, and with Venus and Mars, and addictive tendencies can be all sorts of things, right? Venus and Mars in your sign, I mean, you may be really, you know, pushing the boat out, so to speak, with certain things. So it can be something like that, kind of reining yourself in a little bit and getting refocused on, you know, if I do want to change my life, if I do want to have the best of everything, more money, etc., so on, whatever it is, I got to get myself in hand. Right? So it can be something like that also. But you could be dealing with somebody who has those issues and really judging whether, you know, that person really deserves to still be in your life. You know, Venus going through your own sign, she's going to be in there for 4 or 5 months, right? So this is a lot about looking at your own self-love and treating yourself with self-love, kindness, and respect. All right, so let's see. See what we got, Leo. There's your energy, 8 of Wands. Oh, there's your energy again. Oh my gosh, double 8s here. Oh, wow, and the Queen of Swords. Okay. So, interesting, because we have the Venus and the Mars in the Leo. So we got double Leo with that. Notice how her back is turned to this. So interesting. The Queen of Swords making a decision, and that is our Gemini energy. Really connecting with the facts and the figures. I think from this energy here, you've given many chances to somebody from the heart, strength, because maybe the bond has been so strong. It may be time you may need to set an intention to cut loose some sort of draining friendship, like I mentioned before, or face the reality of whatever that connection is, as I just explained. That if the relationship is not continuing to evolve in a positive, transformative way, that it may be time to set the intention to let it go. Okay, that's one way to look at these energies. The other way to look at this as well is that you are at a major turning point. We have the 8s here. We're talking about your 8th house also with the Saturn and the Neptune. You are at this major turning point where by setting intentions, taking decisive actions from a logical place that is aligned with your heart and aligned with your energy, right? And treating yourself also with loving care and respect, as I said before, you can make enormous progress very quickly. I would say between this new moon and your birthday season, the start of your birthday season, like July 20th, 21st, you could see a major rocket propulsion toward some major goal that you have been wanting to achieve in this 11th house area of personal gains. All right, you are ready for a rapid transformation. Okay, so this is a lot about what are you willing to decide and start working toward in order to make that happen. Okay, but things could change very, very quickly for you over the next 8 days to the next month, I feel, with this energy. Wow, very, very powerful here, Leo. Don't be afraid to make a decision that is in your best interests, especially when it comes to cutting off a relationship that is very toxic. All right, Virgo. So we have this beautiful new moon in your 10th house of career. We have Neptune and Saturn in your 7th house of relationships. So this is interesting with Neptune squaring this new moon in your 10th house of career. So I would say looking at how relationships, both business and personal, perhaps help you or hinder you in achieving your career goals. So that may be something to look at. I would also say, like, are you married to your job? Again, nothing wrong with that if you want to be married to your job. With Saturn in your 7th house right now, though, you might want to be married to an actual person. So there could be some rethinking with Saturn retrograde of personal commitments and getting more balance in your life. Okay, so this is very interesting. 10th house, though, is also the house of public relationships, like marriages. So, you know, there could be something like that. If you want to get married, this may be the new moon energy to work with. But with Neptune squaring this new moon, it could be something about kind of taking off rose-colored glasses, Virgo, and getting real about the type of partner you want, the type of person you're attracting, etc. There could also be something here where you're setting an intention to work on your relationship if you already have one, if things maybe have been a little rocky. This would be a good moon to do that, especially in regards to having clear communication, right? Because with Neptune in that 7th house, you know, there could be something going on with that. All right, so let's see what we need to know. Virgos. We have a 5 of Cups. And we have your energy. And this 3 of Pentacles, which keeps coming up in the readings today. So it is time to make a plan, Virgo. All right, whatever you want to do, all hope is not lost. Maybe you're feeling a little dejected right now, 5 of Cups. Okay, but what this energy is saying is that by your birthday season, all right, here's your birthday season. By your birthday season, there could be a whole new plan in motion for your life in regards to your career and or marriage or significant relationship if you work the plan. I think right now you may be a little bit in a funk, shall we say, with the Hermit and the 5 of Cups. There could be a slight pity party going on. It's okay. We all do that. I'm not saying anything that's bad or anything. Sometimes we need that. But I would say also set the intention at this new moon to snap out of that if possible. I mean, we go through this as long as you need to go through it, of course. But you may need to kind of pull yourself up by your bootstraps a little bit and set the intention that you're going to start focusing more on yourself, but in a perhaps more productive and healthy way to get yourself back on track with this 3 of Pentacles and make a plan happen for yourself. Now, yes, we have Venus retrograde coming up. We have Mercury retrograde coming up in your sign. So that's why I'm saying this plan may undergo a couple of iterations before it's ready to hit the ground running and before maybe you're even ready to hit the ground running with the plan. But that's okay. Okay, like I said, by your birthday season, I feel like you're going to have something significant, or really by the middle of September. September 15th, your new moon, Virgo. You're going to have some brand new plan in motion for yourself. So in some area of your life. I mean, it may not necessarily be career. It could be, like I said, your relationship, or it could be something else entirely in your life. All right. But you do need a plan that you can work. You know, that expression, work the plan. Because right now, either there's no plan, 5 of Cups, there's this melancholic inertia, you know, and you're kind of alone on the mountaintop here. So you're going to have to come down from the mountaintop, from your self-imposed exile, and get back into it. But you've got to find the plan that's going to work for you to do that. All right, and this 3 of Pentacles is very, very promising. Now, I was just explaining this card in a different context because we had different cards come out in the Cancer reading, but this lady is giving advice. It may be helpful for you to get an outside opinion. In the Cancer reading, it was not helpful because of the cards we got. In this reading, it could be helpful because you may be too stuck in your own head with this energy. So it could be helpful for you to get an outside, trusted advisor opinion about whatever way you need to work your plan, get unstuck, come up with the plan that will work for you. So just keep that in mind. Set the intention that you are going to make the plan work for yourself. And with Venus in your 12th house, in Leo, which is where she will be until October, this can be a lot about bringing up issues about money and self-esteem from your subconscious, things that may need to be addressed and healed, things from the past. You know, so that may be part of this also here, Virgo. There could be some karmic connections that need to be looked at, karmic contracts in regards to into love and money, both. Okay, so very interesting energies happening for you. Libras, new moon in Gemini in your 9th house of the big picture perspective of your life. Where are you going? You want to be headed in a new direction, whatever that means for you. New horizons, expand your horizons. We have Neptune in your 6th house of work and well-being, and Saturn also in your 6th house of work and well-being going retrograde. So there may be something energetically to look at here with Neptune in that 6th house. There may be a more intense need for sleep and rest. There could be some mysterious things going on with you, but a lot of it is probably, again, not medical advice, a lot of it is probably connected, mind-body connection. You may need to re-examine with the Saturn going retrograde in that 6th house, your work commitments, if they're too much for you, or also if they really are, in the long run, best for where you see yourself headed in your life. You know, sometimes we just get caught up in the day-to-day struggle and things we got to do and jobs we got to go to and all of that. And we do sometimes lose sight of the bigger perspective of our lives and the direction we're going in. So I think this is a good time with this new moon in Gemini to look at that and do your work commitments, do your well-being commitments, support where you see yourself headed. And there may be things to look at also with turning over a new leaf with wellness matters so that you can get to where you want to go. Right? You need the energy. You need the well-being in order to do what you want to do. So there may be some things to look at there, like maybe there's a trip that you want to be going on, 9th house, which is being activated with this new moon. A trip that you may want to go on by, the end of the year when we have the full moon in Gemini. Well, you're not going to be able to do it if, you're run down all the time. Neptune squaring this new moon. So there may just be things to look at like that. Okay, so let's see what we have going on for you. And do commitments support or drain your energy? Absolutely. That's something to look at here. 7 of Cups, which is to me a very Neptunian energy, and the Queen of Wands. and the Six of Swords. Okay. So we're talking about your 6th house here. And it is the Gemini that is showing up, which is the 9th house, but that is Gemini energy, the 6 of Swords. So interesting what we're getting here. So again, 7 of Cups can be fog, illusions, delusions. It can be an unwillingness to face reality. Absolutely. I'm just living in fantasy land over here, just imagining all sorts of things rather than actually doing them out in the world. The 9th house is a very worldly house. It is like, what are you doing out in the world also? So instead of just imagining your bucket list, 7 of Cups, you want to start taking initiative on it with the Queen of Wands here. Like, you're ready to connect with your fiery, passionate energy to go for your dreams and go with, for where you see yourself headed, 9th house. But it's going to require 6 of Swords, a moving on and a mental release from perhaps situations, people, and your own mindset that have kept you stuck in fantasy thinking. So we're not saying you can't achieve your hopes and wishes and dreams. Of course you can, but there may be some things that you have to look at about your own expectations, your own reality that you're in. Everybody has a different situation watching this video, and kind of get back to reality in some way, and put your energy behind Queen of Wands, that which truly lights your fire, okay, and adds to your energy rather than drains you. Again, looking at that 6th house. Now, it's interesting. We have the Leo showing up with the Queen of Wands. We have Venus and Mars currently in Leo, which is your 11th house of hopes and wishes and dreams, personal gains. So it is time to get real and choose a dream to actually start working toward with all the fire, gusto, and passion. But that by the same token, when you choose one, you're also unchoosing 6 others. And there lies perhaps the dilemma. You get caught in, well, I don't know. What do I choose? All right, so that's a very Libran dilemma sometimes, isn't it? Because they all look so delicious and inviting, like which one? And knowing which is the right cup for you. Only you can determine that. And I would say by the time we get into Cancer season, which is only a few days away, really, after this new moon, this is Cancer energy, but it's Cancer energy in July. I would say by the 7th of July, give yourself a deadline, Libra, that you are going to be decisive, you're going to choose, and you're going to get on with it. 6 of Swords, and take action. Scorpio, we have a new moon for you in your 8th house of physical, mental, emotional, financial transformation. It's the house of sex, death, taxes, intimacy. Could there be a new romantic partner on the way? I don't know, Scorpio. Or a deepening of your current commitment with someone? It's possible. We have Neptune in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, and we have Saturn also in that house. So there could be things to really look at here with Neptune squaring this new moon about your own expectations for, I would say, intimate relationships, for other people's money. That's also the 8th house. Your expectations, getting clarity around your own, what you need to transform. Sorry, cat hair. In order to be the best you can be. 8th house. I mean, you're no stranger to the 8th house. You rule, Scorpio rules the 8th house in astrology. So you are the phoenix. Like, you're used to these cycles of transformation that you go through in your life. But I think the thing here is really this Neptunian energy, to cut through the fog and confusion and to not be afraid to own what you really want in this 8th house area of life. Like, if you want a sexy new connection, own it. Get the clarity around that. Claim it for yourself. Okay? You may be rethinking Saturn going retrograde in that 5th house. You may be rethinking, if you haven't had a commitment like that in a while, or an opportunity like that in a while, maybe you're thinking, yeah, you know what? I really do want that now. Or maybe you've had that and you're like, you know what? I need my scorpionic time in the intimate desert, and I don't need that in my life right now. I got other things to do. I got creative projects I want to work on. I mean, whatever it is. Okay, so that's the clarity issue. And Saturn going retrograde in that 5th house, like rethinking your commitments along these lines. South Node is getting ready to leave your sign finally. I know you're all breathing a sigh of relief, middle of July. So, you know, you have gone through a lot of massive transformation over the last year and a half, as we have discussed at length on this channel. So, you know, you're ready for this. You're ready for, you know, again, Scorpio 2.0 with this new moon in this 8th house of feeling reborn, rebirthed in these 8th house areas of life. All right, let's see what we have here. 9 of Cups, beautiful. Oh, and the Wheel. And the Magician. Are you kidding me right now? This is so good. Look at this wish fulfillment energy happening here. So we have the Jupiter and Taurus energy, which is your 7th house of business and romantic partners. 9 of Cups, appetite energy, wish card, you know, let's make this happen. Magician, let's also make this happen, but it's under your control. And yeah, I know you like that part. Okay, so it is down to you. I mean, yeah, the universe is going to help. The Wheel is here. So if you truly have this desire, and that's what I think this Neptune square can help you with, like I said before, is really claiming that wish, whatever it is for you. Set the intention and actually ask the universe to help you manifest whatever this is in your life, this transformation, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, romantic, creative, I don't care, all of the above, whatever. And then you bring your A game to the table with the Magician and you show the universe, I'm serious about setting this intention and making it happen for myself. Okay, like start walking the talk, doing what you need to do. Universe is going to respond to that energy and start making things happen for you. All right, be confident, trust in yourself, trust in the universe, and let's see this wish manifest. Sagittarius, a new moon in your 7th house of relationships, both business and personal. And then we have Neptune squaring this new moon in your 4th house of home, family, roots. And we have Saturn going retrograde in the same house, home, family, roots. All right, so let's see what we have for you. Interesting energies. I mean, there could be, depending on your situation, you know, I try to read energy and present energies in different ways, but there could be something to decide if somebody is marriage material or not. There could be something going on, introducing somebody to your family for the first time, and seeing, you know, how that all goes. There could be something also with, you know, some sort of getting clarity on the foundation of a relationship in business. I mean, that's possible also. 7th house can be business relationships. And 4th house is a foundational home, you know, foundational house. So assessing with the Saturn, is this really a valuable connection? And you could be doing that with romance as well. But some of you could be setting the intention to call in new connections that make you feel like home, that are grounded in stability and reliability. Their stability and reliability. 10 of Pentacles. The Capricorn energy. Oh, wow. And a King of Pentacles. Wow. And the 4 of Swords. It's all getting too much to think about, isn't it? Sag. Okay. All righty. You got a lot on your mind here with this 4 of Swords. Okay, what I feel with this 4 of Swords is not to rush. And in fact, and you may not like this, but you know, and the time frames, I always try to be flexible with time frames, but please remember it's a general reading. But I also am taking astrology into account with this reading. It may take you until the middle of Virgo season. So by September 15th, new moon in Virgo, it may take you that we got, you know, Virgo energy with the pentacles here. It may take you that long to really get all the information you need to make this situation a reality in your life. Okay, the Four of Swords can sometimes be things hidden off stage. It just takes time, or like, yeah, you have a headache thinking about it. Like, you need to really use your mental energy, but use it slowly and maybe even sleep on it. You know, for maybe 4 months, you got to sleep on it and keep thinking about it and kind of going over it to make this reliable, the decision that will be reliable and in your best interest, with this Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles showing up. Now, these are both excellent energies, but this is what is at stake, I feel, with this situation, right? So, I mean, I feel it's favorable, but it could just be also that you need to get to that point in your own mind. Like, this person could be these energies, but you need to feel it, see it. You know, seeing is believing type energy. You may need more time to really see that this situation person is who they say they are, will show up, will be there, etc. Okay, or again, you're setting the intention that that is the type of person you want in your business life, your romantic life, etc. Right? That maybe you've been with people who've been very, you know, very flighty, flibberty-gibbet, fly-by-nights. You can't count on them. And you've come around, they've caused you a lot of headaches. You've come around to the fact that, you know what, this is the type of situation I want. Okay, so, interesting energies here. Those of you who are already in a relationship, there may be something here to set the intention, especially, you know, if you're in a marriage already, 4th house, Neptune, Saturn, with this new moon, to have more open and honest conversations with your partner about family finances and who wears the pants in the family and who controls the purse strings. There may be something to look at there with this. Again, this is not negative in any way, but it could be that you're not really expressing your thoughts and feelings about certain financial things going on, financial decisions or other things going on in the family. So an important conversation may need to be had. Maybe you're afraid of having that conversation, of stirring the hornet's nest, so to speak. Okay, I think that, you know, these are great energies. If you can have an open and honest conversation, set the intention to start, you know, doing that, you know, you could perhaps, by opening that line of communication, solve some sort of, perhaps, I don't feel it's a problem within the partnership necessarily. It could just be a problem, in quotes, with something going on in your own mind about a financial situation within the family. Okay, and you need to get something off your chest in regards to that. Okay, so set the intention, if that applies to you, to do that. Capricorn, new moon in your 6th house of work and well-being. Neptune and Saturn in that 3rd house of writing, speaking, teaching, networking, sales. So whatever you're trying to get going in your work life, just know, I'm going to say your favorite word, there may be a delay. Again, maybe, with Saturn going retrograde. But it also could be some sort of delay because of your own, perhaps, need to get some clarity about what's next for you. I mean, that's possible. Now, another possibility with Saturn going retrograde, opportunity from the past, especially in those areas, writing, speaking, teaching, networking, sales, or an opportunity within your neighborhood sphere or with some sort of transportation situation, could come about for you by setting this intention at this new moon. Okay, so you just got to apply the energies to your life. Saturn is your ruling planet, of course, so it's important to note what is going on with him. All right, let's see what we got. I feel like there's something here about you really getting the clarity with the Neptune squaring this new moon about what is the next career goal for you that you want to commit to. That's why the Saturn retrograde at this point is important, because it's also squaring the Mercury in Gemini as well. So, which can be like kind of like, what are you signing up for? What are you going to be using your mind to do next? Okay, especially with work projects. Here's the Pisces. Look at the Hangman. And the Two of Pentacles. Interesting. And the Knight of Swords. Okay. So there's a new beginning coming for you. Oh, and look, we have an Ace of Wands over here. So I would say by the time we get to Leo season, with that Ace of Wands that was also showing up, so about a month from this new moon, so right before Venus goes retrograde, I think that with this Knight of Swords here, you're going to be making up your mind and charging ahead with some new project. It might even be 2 new projects. Remember, wherever we have Gemini in our chart, it's always about 2 things. Okay, so, and you know, you like to keep busy, so you like more than one thing anyway. Okay, so after a period of indecision and rethinking, which may only last about a month, okay, using the energies, you're going to have, I think, you know, a couple of possibilities that you're going to be evaluating. Should I invest more energy over here? This one, you may be, in fact, you may have 2 job offers in hand. You may have 2 new projects that you're going to start working on. And things could move very quickly for you with those projects. So, or whatever new job offer might come in, you could be really charging ahead on these things, absolutely, by Libra season. And when I say that, I mean, like, yes, you're choosing by Leo season, but then 3 months later, 2 to 3 months later, it could even be the middle of September, like right before Libra season, like things are flying for you in this area of your chart. Okay, in this 6th house area. Okay, so this looks very promising. With the Two of Pentacles for me, there's always a hierarchy because one is up here and one's down here. And even in the regular tarot, there's a big ship and a little ship. So, again, it's the type of thing where there's maybe, if you're working on 2 projects, there's one that's just a little bit more satisfying or a little bit more promising, but you're still working on the other because you're a smart Capricorn. You always have a backup. You always got a backup plan. I love this Knight of Swords here for you, actually. I think that something major is going to shift from whatever these 2 things are that you're going to be working on over the summer. You know, the summer, yes, we're having Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde for, 2 months, basically. I think that's actually positive energy because it is a time where we can regroup, re-examine, rework things for ourselves and make a very exciting success of them and charge ahead quickly after this retrograde shenanigan gets over, which happens September 15th. With that new moon in Virgo, we'll be out of Mercury retrograde and out of Venus retrograde. All right, Aquarius, we have a new moon in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, taking a risk, the house of the entrepreneur. And we have Neptune in your 2nd house of money and Saturn going retrograde in your 2nd house of money. So Neptune squaring this new moon is interesting. Get the clarity around what makes you feel good, what makes you feel valued. Rethinking your commitments of love and money with Saturn going retrograde in that 2nd house. Especially because we also have Venus in your 7th house of relationships. And that's going to be there until, the beginning of October. And with the Venus retrograde coming up too at the end of July into August, beginning of September, you are going to be rethinking your commitments with it in the 7th house, your relationships. So this is all very interesting here. It's, I think, really looking at getting the clarity in your life about who has your back, who values you, how you, how do I want to say this? How you present yourself as a person of value to other people, how you are choosing relationships, projects, businesses to start that are based in your values also. Second house is also our personal value system. So gaining clarity around that. I mean, things, with Neptune, its long journey through your second house, like you have gone through, many, since I think 2011, right? Many shifts in perspective, many moments you've had to cut through fog about your finances, about if what you're doing really matters, if you feel it matters, does it matter to others? Like, are you getting money for value? I mean, all these things, and really, really trying to cut through that fog. And now with Saturn in this second house, Saturn's not just about restrictions and delays. It is also about lessons. So Saturn is offering you opportunities to learn and put into action, walking your talk around valuing yourself and getting paid what you're worth also. So all of these things kind of all rolled into one here. But in particular, setting some sort of intention in this fifth house to be in heart alignment with people and projects that value you and that you value. Page of Pentacles. We're talking about money. There we get the page. And we have the Libra, interesting, which is your ninth house. And the Six of Swords, which is the Gemini. Okay. So, Page of Pentacles. Pentacles for me are about self-esteem. And this is the page, which is the child energy. So again, you're going through, with Saturn in that second house now, you're going through a maturation process. You're growing up when it comes to, like I said, your own value, the role money plays in your life, all the things I already mentioned, okay? I think you're also going to be delivering some news, or some news could be coming very soon that is going to help you move on to a better reality in your life in terms of your finances and in terms of also people in your life who value you. Okay, so let me explain. For me, the justice can be justice ruling in your favor, but it can also be you doing right by yourself. It's your ninth house. So it's where do you see yourself headed in life? You could be delivering some news to somebody that says, you know what, I don't see you in my life anymore. Hello, goodbye, have a nice day, right? I'm moving on. So this new moon, sometimes we think of only about full moons as endings. New moons can also be about endings because sometimes we set these intentions and the intentions are about leaving something behind because it's not good for us and where we see the new things that we want to create in our lives. So it can be something like this. And also the Libra energy can be about relationships and connections. Okay, now there also could be some sort of news about a contract for child custody, something like that. There could be a news about a contract about a creative project. There could be a news about a contract related to your business if you're an entrepreneur that may help finally put something into the past, may help you resolve a thorny issue or problem. So that could be very good also. Okay, but again, if that news comes to pass, the intention setting is, well, then what new beginning are you going to set into motion in using these energies with this particular news and contract? Okay, but again, it can just be you growing up, so to speak, and saying, you know what, this situation is not fair to me anymore. Like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this, and I'm moving on. So that's another possibility here for you also. Pisces, we have a new moon in your 4th house of home, family, roots, what nourishes you and what feeds you. And yes, we have Neptune in your sign, and we have Saturn in your sign also. Okay. So, getting clear about what you need when it comes to the foundation of your life, maybe starting over again or wanting to start over again or have some other important change to the family. With Saturn going retrograde in your 1st house, you are rethinking your commitments, your responsibilities. Do they fit your goals? Do they align with who you see yourself as and how other people also see you? There may be considerations going on with, kind of getting real about your physical body as well, 1st house, Saturn. So you may be revisiting your health regimens and things you do to keep yourself well. And you may be setting some new intentions to have new family routines or new foundational, what's the word I want? Activities or something that you do as a family to support well-being. There could be something like that going on. So the key here, I think, because with Neptune in the 1st house squaring this, is being really clear on presenting to your family, especially those you live with, exactly what you need. Okay, with this new moon energy. If you need a fresh start with the home, really explaining why. You may be dealing perhaps with somebody who needs solid factual information. And sometimes that's hard, it's like, well, thank you, Ariel. I just feel that way, right? You could be dealing with somebody who's like, okay, I know you feel that way, but like, where's the cold hard facts about this? So it could be like cutting through the fog to communicate better with maybe some Saturn cold hard facts about why you need a fresh start in this 4th house area of life. You could be setting an intention to just buy something new for your home and figuring out the financials to get that done and having a conversation about that. So, again, that clarity of communication. All right, let's see what we got. We have the World. And we have the 8 of Wands. We have the Leo. This is your 6th house of work and well-being. Oh, this 4 of Swords haunting the reading today. All right. So there may be, in fact, something to look at here and set the intention to reshape your world and do so within the family unit, and have some sort of conversation with those around you to make some positive changes with the Leo here. Like, something's got to give. So the World can be a wrap up, can be an ending, like a cycle finishing. And so there may be a conversation that needs to be had. This can be a very fast moving, like we need to move. Like, this is not working anymore where we're at. But it can be also confronting that there can be just a big headache when it comes to making some sort of move, change. And this could also, doesn't have to be you. It could be a relative. With Saturn also in that 1st house, it could be an elderly mother, father, aunt, uncle, sister, whatever, brother. There could be somebody in the family who needs this move and needs this assistance. Because again, 4th house is family. So there could be something like that. You could be dealing with somebody who's not well, 4 of Swords. There may be, again, needs to be a wrap up and a change in the situation in terms of where they're living, how they're living, and who they're living with. Or it could be you as well. Okay, so there could be some other family situation that's going on where, I'm just going to say it also, with the Neptune in the 1st house squaring the new moon, it can be that maybe finally you're going to have to face the fact that maybe somebody is perhaps dealing with some sort of addiction issue. I'm not saying you, I'm saying a family member. And the sooner that can be kind of dealt with and start moving forward on, that person can, you can get the help for that person quickly. But, could it be something like that you're dealing with as well, wrapping up that situation of perhaps being in denial about it and really facing it so that, you can move forward in your life as well. That could be going on. There could be discussions here, setting intentions for a rapid move due to work. Okay, so there could be a discussion within the family. If we want to better our finances, if we want this job, we may have to move cross country, right? World. We may have to move 500 miles away or whatever. Like, there could be something like that. And yeah, that's a headache. That's a pain. Like, how are we going to do it? Like, okay. But also, it could be a beautiful opportunity, right? The world is supporting it, and it could happen very fast. With this 8 of Wands here, like everything, this to me is like boom, 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 boom. Everything falling into place for you with this. Okay, so again, you have to apply the energies to your life in terms of what situation are you dealing with in your life. Use the new moon energy to set the intention. But the key here is not to go into like drama. This a little, mental drama of how will this happen. The universe really can rise and support us in very wonderful ways once we get out of this and we, leap forward and set those intentions and start taking actions. So interesting energies here, Pisces. So thank you so much for joining me for your new moon in Gemini horoscope and tarot reading. I love you guys. Please leave me a comment and let me know how you intend to use this energy. I would love to hear. And also, please do consider joining my membership here on YouTube. It's kind of like having me on, speed dial, so to speak, for your for your psychic and intuitive needs, because I am doing special lives just for members where I will be pulling cards, and we're doing those at least once a month, possibly twice a month. And the first one's coming up on June 28th. I'd love to have you be part of that. It'd be really fun. So do consider that if you would like. Okay? All right. Let's see what happens with this new moon in Gemini. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Stella Wilde, signing out.